Hello guys, good evening and welcome back to another evening of racing with the Midnight Oil Racing League and me, your boy Vex, it's Vexman, to take you through proceedings. This is of course round 4. So coming into round 4, after round 3 we've got Too Fast, that's Wayne G at the top of the table with 149 points. Dan Bailey currently sat in second place with 128. Thomas is in third with 123. We've got Ice Chand in fourth with 109. Mawson's in fifth with 73. Vexman not far behind in 6th with 72. We've got Blood Diamond on 56 points. Silent Hunters on 54. Irons Clutch in 9th place with 48. Asbo in 10th with 47. And Dirty Dubs on 26 points. So without further ado, let's get into this first race of the evening. Obviously 2 25-minute races going off of the grid results after qualifying. So Ice Chan lines up on pole, Thomas in second place, Wendy G's going to start in third, Dan Bailey in fourth, Mawson in fifth, Vexed in sixth. We got Blood Diamond in seventh, Asbo is in eighth, we have Clutch in ninth, and Pickle bringing up the rear in 10th place. So a very, very wet one around Mount Fuji this week. So I think we're going to see a few more people probably using their traction control. Looks like Ice Chan actually lining up on the start there with zero traction. See how he gets on off the start. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the first race. The lights are out and they are off. Everybody getting a fairly good getaway there. Somebody in the background there, I think that may have been Clutch getting a move off the start. Dan Bailey trying to cover off positions behind him. They're 3 wide almost. Wayne G, Dan Bailey and Thomas, I think it was, into turn 1. Ice Chan pulls away in first place, Wayne G up to second. Now we've got Dan Bailey making his way through to third. Mawson's up to fourth. Thomas is down to 5th place. We have Vex not but far behind in 6th. Vex trying to make his way through past Thomas. I don't think he's going to manage to get it done there. Clutch getting shuffled out a little bit wide there by Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond managing to come through on the inside. Asbo trying to make his way through as well in the BRZ. Clutch holding a good line though. And it's getting very congested indeed towards the front. Mawson goes around the outside there of Thomas, but Thomas is going to be on the inside for the next part of the track, and he manages to retake the position. Dan Bailey still there in third place, still trying to challenge Wayne G, and in fact momentarily moves up into second place, does Dan Bailey. Keep an eye on further back. So Wayne G is actually down to 4th place now. Mawson's there in 5th. We've got Blood Diamond, then Vexed. Then we have Clutch. Clutch absolutely murdering Vex there, just forces his way through. That's not very sportsmanlike, but we'll let him get away with it this time. Up into 6th place now, gets the move done on Wayne G as well. So give him his due. He's actually coming on leaps and bounds, but yeah, he just needs to try and keep it a little bit cleaner, buddy. We don't push to pass. Well, I'm sure it's probably just a mistake on the brakes, and obviously with the track being as wet as it is, probably caught him out a little bit. So Vex now down into 8th place. We've got Pickle there in 9th. Asbo is in 10th. Clutch is up to 7th. And there's a gaggle of cars coming down the track now. Oh, Clutch going for the move on Wayne G. Out brakes himself, goes a little bit deep. Is that going to allow Wayne G to retake the position? I think it is. And in fact, Clutch picks up a second's worth of penalty for just driving off the track. I'm sure he lost enough time as it is without having that second's worth of penalty. And a Pickle cuts across in front of Vex there. I was very close indeed. And them guys almost 3 wide on the approach to this left-hander. So Mawson's up to 4th. We have Thomas now in 3rd place. Dan Bailey still there in 2nd. Ice Chand has pulled out a bit of a gap now in 1st place. He's got a couple of seconds over Dan Bailey there in 2nd. Thomas is about a second behind Dan Bailey. Probably about the same distance to Mawson. Blood starting to creep up onto the back of Mawson now. Should we have a look? Or should we have a quick look at what tyres everybody is running? So we have Ice Chand on the intermediates. Dan Bailey is on the intermediates as well. Thomas has opted for the wets. Molson on the intermediates. We have Blood Diamond on intermediates. Wayne G also on intermediates. He's into the pits now. Clutch and Asbo having a bit of a battle down the start finish. Who's that followed in? Somebody else has followed in or filtered into the pits. I think it's Vexed and Pickles. So these two are free now to try and get onto the back of 5th place Blood Diamonds. Wayne G will go in to take on a fresh set of tyres, as will Vexed, as will Pickles. What tyre compound will they go for? So Wayne G opting for a set of wets. What is everybody else going for? Vexed also on a set of wets, and I believe Pickles will probably do the same. Yeah, he's also on a set of wets. He's also got the 3 seconds for crossing the pit lane. And he's driven off track as well. I think maybe out braking himself coming out of the pits. That's unlucky, Pickle. He's got a little bit of time to make up now. I'm sure he'll keep his head down and get back into the race. Meanwhile, Ice Chand, how long is he going to run them intermediates for? It's not quite wet weather tyres yet. Still in the intermediate bracket on the moisturometer on your bottom left there, next to the tyre graphic. But doing a good job of it at the moment is Ice Chand in that Lamborghini. And Wayne G re-emerges in 8th place. So Thomas may be looking to run them wets for longer than the guys on the intermediates, or will he follow in and get rid of them once some of the others get rid of their inters? I think Ice Chand's staying out, is he? Thomas is staying out. Is that Dan Bailey into the pits? I think he is. Molson looks like he's following in. Blood Diamond's going to stay out, favours track position. So Thomas up into the lead of the race on the wet compound tyre. Then we have Blood Diamond on the inters in 2nd. Where are 3rd, 4th and 5th going to come out of the pits? Clutch and Asbo have moved through into 3rd and 4th respectively. Well, Clutch has obviously got a move done on Asbo somewhere. Oh, somebody else driving off the track in the background there. That was Wayne G taking a little bit of a scenic route. Vexed finds himself down in 9th place now and some way off the back of Wayne G. I think he's struggling in this one. Trying to keep the traction off. It's maybe not helping him out too much. Maybe he will change that as the race progresses. So Pickles, after that 3 seconds penalty, somewhere off the back of Vex now. And he is using traction. So Thomas Dan Bailey with the fastest lap in the race at the moment, 148.191. Thomas only 7 tenths off that time on the wets. The rain definitely not starting to ease off yet. Blood Diamond now into the pits. Clutch and Asbo going for a very long stint, as is Thomas. Both on the wet compound. Ice Chand obviously now out on a fresh set of wets, finds himself in 4th place. We have Dan Bailey now in 5th, Molson is now in 6th. Blood Diamond coming out of the pits. He's going to get ahead of Wayne G. Not quite. Wayne G just manages to get a move done as Blood Diamond exits the pits. Looks like Vex doing all he can to try and get onto the back of 8th place Blood Diamond. Pickle's having a bit of a lonely race as well. Oh, and it looks like Vex, so yeah, Vex having a moment up ahead. We'll have a quick look, see what happens. Oh, and just a little bit eager on the throttle, the rear just went on the exit, the sweeping right-hander. Off into the barrier, struggles to get the car going. I think Pickle is going to manage to get the move done. Oh, it almost does manage to get it done. But Vex just managing to stay ahead for the minute. You see a little bit of lag coming into play there. Oh, bit of another moment on the power. So Blood Diamond has started to catch Wayne G while he was on the back of him, wasn't he? Coming out of the pit, so I think at the moment just wanting to stick with Too Fast. Too Fast, chasing down Mawson, went for the early pit stop and the undercut. Is it going to work out for him? So Mawson there in 6th place, got a nice bit of breathing space over 7th place. A little way off the back of the Subaru though in 5th. So Ice Chan starting to chase down 3rd place Clutch in the Ferrari. And Clutch doing a good job of extending that stint at the moment. As I touched on at the start of the season, his first proper league that he's raced in, so had a bit of a moment there on the power. I think the traction definitely saving him. The traction control. Ice Chan looking to try and get that move done early. I don't think he's going to get it done through these couple of corners here. Very, very tight, windy sector, this final sector. And Clutch, yeah, managing to stay ahead for the minute. He is still yet to pit. Asbo's managed to stretch a few temps. Oh, in fact, we've seen a moment. Somebody's had a moment. I think Clutch having a moment. That's allowed Chand around the outside. Doesn't quite seal the position. Clutch looking like he's gone a little bit deep through the final turn. Stays out. Chand pulls alongside. Will he be able to get that position with the power of the Lamborghini? And he is ahead. He has got the inside line as well for turn 1. Clutch tries to go around the outside. I think that compromised him a little bit. I think he just picked up a bit of the curb there, which slowed him down ever so slightly. Still well within reach of Chand in 3rd place. Chand already has managed to find a couple of temps. We can now focus ahead to Asbo. We haven't seen much of Asbo in this race so far, but he's managed to make his way through to 2nd place. Obviously still yet to pit. Having a decent drive at the moment, decent first stint. So we have definitely seen a mixture of strategies throughout the field. The guys that are on the wets are still out. And will they go in this time round? So Thomas is approaching the pits now. He stays out. So we're just over halfway through this race now. Thomas with quite a margin over the rest of the field at the moment. Will he get that free pit stop? He wants to try and come out in free air if he can. If he can come out ahead of the rest of the field, that's all for the better. So Asbo has stayed out. Chand slowly catching him. Clutch still there in 4th. No danger of being overtaken by Dan Bailey as yet. But as I say, still yet to pit, so anything could happen as yet. So Dan Bailey on the fresher set of wet tyres now. He's already got his pit stop out of the way. He will surely move back up into 2nd, I believe, when 1st, 2nd and 4th pit. They'll probably pit around the same time, I'd imagine. Well, in fact, Dan Bailey has managed to catch Clutch now. Is he going to be able to get the move done in the next couple of corners? So we're going to stay on board and have a look. He's having a look around the outside now. Clutch is going to try and cover off the inside into this right-hander hairpin. Into the windy final sector of Mount Fuji. And he does get it done. Dan Bailey does get it done. So Clutch was trying to cover off the inside. I think he went slightly deep, which allowed Dan Bailey to get the pass. And he's managed to seal the deal at the moment, but Clutch still definitely hanging off of his bumper. Or was he? It looked like he just dipped a wheel onto the wet stuff on the outside there, which made him go a little bit deep for that last turn. He's lost a 10th or 2. And Mawson steadily catching Clutch now as well. Is he going to be able to get the pass done? Clutch stays out, still yet to pit. 15 minutes into this 25-minute race. Oh, Mawson has a look up the inside. Clutch tries to go around the outside of Dan Bailey. Actually, has he got it done? I think he's got it done. How did he manage to do that? That was a move and a half from Clutch, but I think he's at risk of losing this position once again. Here, Dan Bailey back around the outside. Back up into 4th place, collects a bit of the curb there. I'm not sure if that's going to end up with a half a second's penalty. It looks like he's got away with it. I think Clutch definitely feeling the effects of the tyre wear now. On 9-lap old wet. Still managing to stay ahead of Mawson. Mawson is trying everything he can at the moment to try and get the move done. Oh, so Clutch covered the outside that time, which allowed Mawson to slip it up the inside and up into 5th place. But Clutch still all over him. Clutch goes for the move up the inside. Is he going to get it done? Mawson stays ahead. Oh, there's definitely been some daring moves from Clutch tonight. I'll give him his due. He is, yeah, he's definitely coming on. He's going for them gaps when they're there. Thomas is finally into the pits. Is Asbo going to follow suit? On Clutch does get the move on Mawson through the final turn. There was definitely a bit of contact there. However, I think we saw some sparks come off of Mawson's car. So yeah, Asbo does follow suit. Is Clutch going to go in as well? No, Clutch actually stays out. So Ice Chan back up into the lead of the race. Thomas up into 2nd place. Well, Thomas emerges in 2nd place on a fresh set of intermediate rubber. Dan Bailey not far behind now in 3rd. Then we have Clutch still ahead of Mawson in 4th. Still yet to pit. He's going to lose a few positions when he does. I think he'll come out around Asbo. Around near Blood Diamond or Asbo. Not having a bad race at the moment is Clutch. Mawson still trying to find his way past. Clutch proving to be a tricky customer. Mawson can't quite get the sale at the moment. He needs to get it done soon because he's got Wayne G not far behind him now. Wayne G went for that undercut early doors. And and has actually looked after them wets really well. I think the RX Vision pretty generous with its tyres anyway. But Wayne G definitely making the most of that fact. So Blood Diamond now in 7th, still a few temps behind. And what's going to happen here? Are we going to see a move? Very, very close indeed between the RX Vision and the Ford GT. Wayne G is showing his intentions. He's trying to have a move up the inside. Mawson covers it off. He's trying to have a look up the inside of Clutch now. Will Clutch go deep on the brakes? Oh, he did. He did. That has allowed Mawson through. Mawson up into 4th place now. Clutch. Oh, at risk of losing that position with Wayne G. Wayne G soars through as well. So I think the wet curve there on the exit of turn 1, just catching Clutch out ever so slightly there, and that has cost him 2 positions now. And he's got blood in the newer of the 2 Ferraris. I think it's the 296 or the 926, 962, 999, whatever it is. The newer one of the 2 Porsches, Ferraris. It's not even the 296, I'm thinking about the Porsche now. So yeah, anyway, Blood Diamond in the newer of the 2 Ferraris, bearing down on Clutch now in the 458. Will Clutch get rid of his tyres this time round? He's obviously seen everybody else around him has served their pit stops. He still looks pretty confident on them tyres though, even though they're showing signs of tyre wear. Wayne G looking racy indeed. Well, that was Blood Diamond, sorry. Our Clutch does peel into the pits now, so Blood Diamond is going to get that move done. Up into 6th place. Trying to get onto the back of Wayne G now in 5th, so Clutch into the pits. Asbo's actually going to come through as well, it looks like. And he does. Up into 7th for Asbo. Will Pickle manage to get the move done as well? Clutch still not exiting the pits. Oh no, he does come out just ahead of Pickle. So he's going to hold on to 8th place for the minute. Pickle. Pickle's now going to try and mount the pressure. It looks like Clutch may be struggling to get some temperature into them tyres. Both cars on the wet compound. And Pickle still unable to get the pass done. Vexed having a really bad outing this week, and he has in fact turned the traction on now, traction control that is. Had enough of the snaps with the McLaren. He's just going to write this first race off, maybe try and make up some points in the second race of the evening. Boys, Chan looking good for it at the moment. Still in control of the race. He's still got a nice bit of breathing space over Thomas in second. Thomas went for the overcut. It hasn't quite paid off for him, but he still managed to hold on to 2nd place, and he's got a nice bit of breathing space over Dan Bailey in 3rd. fact, the gap's fairly even between the top four. Mawson probably about the same distance behind Dan Bailey. And Wayne G's actually backed off a little bit now, it seems, as well. Into the final minute of this race. And Pickle has finally managed to get past Clutch. Clutch on the younger tyre. Should have the grip advantage, and he is trying to have a look up the inside. Gets the move done. So these two, probably the closest battle on track at the moment. Although Wayne G may have managed to creep up onto the back of Mawson again, looking at the track map. We'll have a look in just a second. In fact, Clutch looking like he'd managed to pull away from Pickle, but then gets it all wrong through the final turn. That's allowed Pickle to reel him back in. And it is going to be the final lap. So Asbo finishes in 7th place. We are going to have Clutch. Clutch finishes in 8th. We have Pickle in 9th. Vexed is going to come home in 10th. And the top 6 free to race it out. So Ice Chan still in the lead of the race. We've got any battles in the background. So Thomas under pressure now from Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey on the wet compound. So maybe the intermediate's not really working at the moment. Is Thomas going to lose that position to Dan? Dan definitely looking very racy at the moment. He's got right onto the rear bumper of that Porsche. Can he pressure Thomas into a mistake, or can he manage to get past them? We're going to have to go on board with Chand in just a second. As in the background there, I think Mawson at risk of losing that position to Wayne G. Wayne G trying to have a look up the inside here. Doesn't quite manage to get it done. Dan Bailey around the outside there of Thomas. Is he trying to get the better exit? It looks like he was almost into the rear of the Porsche for a second. I think it's going to be a drag race up to the start finish. So Ice Chand is going to take the checkered flag and the win here in this first race of the evening. GG Chand. And then Dan Bailey pulls ahead of Thomas. Thomas is going to finish in third place. Dan Bailey second, Thomas third, Mawson fourth, Wayne G fifth, Blood Diamond 6th, Asbo 7th, Clutch 8th, Pickle 9th, and Vexed was 10th. So we'll get into the second race of the evening shortly, and I will see you in that one.